welcome back. We're here with Chuco and Meko from Jungle's Studios Toledo. Guys, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, very excited. You're my first music studio that I'm interviewing, so I'm very excited to dive into your expertise and what you guys offer here in Toledo.
Hell yeah.
So, why did you guys decide not to niche yourself and allow like any genre of music to be recorded in your studio?
Well, I worked at a lot of studios in Toledo, and we primarily focused on rap music and just straight vocals. And when we opened up this, we wanted to be different and be more like welcoming to people that are kind of scared to be in that setting. Um, Even down to the posters and even how we set up everything, we want to be very welcoming.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of studios, there's, hip hop is a very high, there's a lot of people in hip hop and rap right now. So it's of course going to be the biggest market for studios, but there's not a lot of studios off the top of my head, or maybe I'm not familiar with off the head that I think of for alternative types of music or just a comfortable space for it, or familiar things. Like outside of hip hop, me and him both listen to a lot of genres of music.
Yeah,
So like, so just having an ear for it so it wouldn't be foreign versus just, you want your barber to kind of be skilled in your kind of hair. You know what
yeah,
I mean? It's just kind of how it goes. And then we, outside of listening to a lot of different music, we know a lot of different kinds of artists. So it's very easy to work with different kinds of people. And it helps us learning more things and new
yeah.
things and being introduced to things. So
So, do you think with you guys really aiming at like m- making them comfortable, like a lot more artists will feel the need and the want to come to you guys because you guys really focus on make them feel like they belong here?
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, music is therapy.
Yeah,
If you don't understand it, then you're not a creative. But if you are a creative, whether it's music or any other medium, painting, dancing, sports, whatever it is, it's therapy. And we're coaches, therapists. That's where we're here to help you get through your own experience. And you come with the lyrics. You know what I mean? You come with the
yeah,
problems. You come with everything needed here and the answers. You know what I mean? So we just got to help get it out of you. So the goal is to make it comfortable. We're artists. I've done music for a really long time, and I've spent hundreds, hours in studios in different places. Some more comfortable and less comfortable than
yeah.
others. So our goal here at Jungle Studios is to make every artist, as comfortable as possible. The space is geared to make you feel comfortable, not corporate. It's a
Yeah.
space where you can relax and create.
Yeah, and touching on what he was saying about being comfortable and creating, even down to the atmosphere, everything in here. We want you to come in here and it's the experience every time. So like you walk in and it's never gonna be the same. So one month it might be like this, one month it might be like that, but that's just the reason why we did everything like that. And I come from a background with skateboarding and stuff like that, and we always done different stuff. He plays basketball. We got different people around us always.
Yeah.
So that's why we wanted to open up our doors and be like, look, we got everything you need. All you got to do is just come here and be yourself. And that's what another thing that he's branded too. He's got a BU clothing company,
I love it.
and again, you just gotta be yourself when you come in here. We made the space for people to come be themselves.
And when someone starts singing or rapping, how do you know if, or like, is there something like that you can tell that they're going to be successful or not?
Somewhat, not really though, because you would never know. Like,
No.
you can't book, base a, you can't judge a book by its cover, and then also you can't judge a book by its lyrics too, because with music, there's no right or wrong way to do it, and there's no, there's always gonna be a fan base for something, but most of the time with people, if they got that star power, you can kind of see it, but then they might not, really hold their end up. But then people that don't, have it at all, they might have star power that they don't even know of. It's
Yeah.
just and that's another reason why we did this too, so people could come in here and be a rock star and come in here and be the next, big rapper or something. But you never know off ribs. You never know off first glance for real.
Yeah, I agree. Some people have the it factor. That's
Yeah.
just natural. Some people have charisma. Some people have a look. Some people have that's nature. We can't really control that. Goal is marketability. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, to be a successful musician, you have to be a successful product and likable to an extent. Even if it's a small niche or whatever it is, you have to be likable and then sell to
Yeah.
people. You have to learn that. Most people walking into a studio don't understand that part of it. So coming in, you can be a great artist. There's plenty of great artists who are just songwriters or didn't make it. But it's all about the star power. And like you said, some people don't have it until they go. Some people get the first song and then their confidence hits when they listen to it in the car 100
Yeah.
times, and you're like, hold on, I might be an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the next time they come back, they got a little entourage with them. They're like, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's like a sport. You got to kind of get your confidence up in it. And most people don't walk into a vulnerable place. Like I said, it's therapy. You got to go in there and make mistakes. There's no if you can go in there one take a song, no mistakes, first time, like what are you doing here already? Like, you know what I mean? You might as well already go to the top. So, but most people don't have that. So, you have to come in and be vulnerable. So it's building confidence off of that, and then you kind of see where you go from there.
And do you guys also kind of walk people through or coach people through the business side of being like an artist as well?
I do sometimes, just because I never had help when I first started doing everything. So I don't have I don't have a problem showing people how to do stuff. But like, it's really just learning. Like, it's constantly learning in music. So like, I can show you something, but there might be a different way to do it. Like it might be a different way to distribute your music. It might be a different way to market yourself. But from my knowledge, if I have the knowledge, if I know how to do something, I'm not gonna be like, no, I'm gonna help them. So it just comes with the game. I mean, it changes every year. I mean, I've been through like four different waves of recording. So like,
Wow.
1 year was this, 1 year was that. This was a good way to do it. Now it's TikTok, and then now TikTok's kind of dying down a little bit. It might be another way. It's just gotta go with the times.
And this is a question from Shane. Um, what's a
Shout
sound?
out corporate Campion.
Shout out Shane, man.
Well, what is a sound that you've never recorded but you are dying to?
Me as an engineer, I mean, instruments is something that I know he's very familiar with recording instruments. That's something I really want to get down to recording like a full band sound from scratch, from drums, guitar, bass line, maybe piano or keys or something, and then make an entire song like that. So he's more familiar with like full instrument recording and mixing and everything. So that, and then just like, man, I want to hear like a real singer, like 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 Whitney Houston type. So like a real, even as a dude too R&B, but like a real, you know what I mean? Just a very powerful, unique voice. Just straight voice. That's just very powerful and unique. I want to hear that like a real, like I said,
Yeah,
real singing voice. One of those ones.
I pretty much recorded every style of music. So, only thing I've never recorded. Damn, what did I never record? Maybe like a real like EDM style stuff, like super EDM. That's probably the only thing I never really did. Or folk. I never did like a real folk song, like a folk music, like like that folk country.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like no, not like that. I mean, I've done that country, but I'm talking about like the weird, like country, like where
Like the
it gets
banjo.
yeah, the
Yeah,
banjo, like
yeah.
yeah, that little twangy, like
Yep.
like the bluegrass style. That and then oh yeah, no, I never recorded blues. I want to record a whole blues band. That'd be dope.
So it's like a full band.
Yeah, a full
Cracked out is
band.
crazy.
Yeah, a full blues band. Like see it like go in real time, make a song.
And with you guys being related, there's a huge stigma like in business about not mixing family and business. How have you guys kind of made that work?
We don't have a choice. Not just playing, but no. I mean, so the thing is, like, the story about me and Miko, like, he's my older cousin. So our moms are our sisters, and we've always grew up with each other. But he done his own thing. Like he already was in music and did all that as like a teenager and adult, and then I kind of got into it from just out of the blue, and then we kind of just rekindled like a couple years later after I started doing it, and then we're like, damn, like we got a connection, and then with business, I mean, when people say that, like most of the time that people are doing that is because they're being weird, and
Yeah.
like we're very open with each other. We'll tell exactly what's going on, like nothing's a secret, nothing's hid, like especially with business because like you said, you can't. Sometimes you can't mix blood with business, but at the end of the day, shit, we got each other. We don't
Yeah.
got nothing else. Like like this building can stop today and we still gonna be cool. Like
I mean, the biggest thing with business and mixing is in business you have to have very uncomfortable conversations.
Yes.
You have to elevate each other, you have to hold people accountable. And in family and people close to you, that's always very, very hard. We don't have a problem saying anything to each other. Literally, like, you know what I mean? Because we joke a lot too, and we talk a lot of trash to each other. So it makes the hard conversations easier. You know what I mean? Nothing's
Yeah.
really off limits. Nothing's really, it's, you know, it's, everything is kind hearted because we both know we want the success of the studio. Like that's paramount. That's priority. It's bigger than just being him. Outside of it being family run, we both have sons that are here often. You know, we're creating a space that our children get to be in. You know, we spent a lot of time in different studios, and now we have a studio our kids can be in without having to go everywhere else. You
Yeah.
know, they have a home studio. So this studio is you know anything that either of us suggest or bring to attention or is a priority in here, we know it's not for self interest. You know what I mean? Really creating a space for ourselves and for our kids, and for artists to have a genuine, you know, creative space that, like we said, you're comfortable in.
Well, it seems like to me that you guys are not only aligned when it comes to the business, but you guys, like you said, you know that you guys care about the overall success. So there's not a worry about stealing money. There's not a worry about, fucking someone over. It's like you guys are really setting up for success, and you guys probably had those conversations before you started.
Yeah, see the money's gonna happen, and in the business we're in, like it's all about how much money you're gonna make. Like
Yeah.
so the whole plan is to build up people and build up like each other and do all that. Like if we sat here and we just worried about money all the time, like half the people that we would have through here, they wouldn't be able to come because we're not money gouging. We're not trying to get like thousands of dollars out of you and do all this. We just want you to have a good experience, and then even for ourselves, like we use the space, we do everything, like and going back to being family, like we ain't got no choice. Like even if we can't, we got we got the same blood in us. Like we gotta be cool. We gotta do everything, and business wise, same thing. Like
Yeah.
like what, we gonna be mad about some money? Like there ain't nothing to be mad
Yeah.
about. Like,
It's kind of like, I mean, the way we have it set up, and we have a couple other engineers that work with us as well. It's kind of like a barbershop. You know, you want everyone's chairs to be filled. I can't cut every head. He can't cut every head. And the best way to manage that is for us to all be good, all be great, sharpen each other. You know what I mean? And make each other better at everything around the board. So that way, if I can't cover something and he needs it, if he can't cover something I need it, any of the other engineers need us to pick up their session and vice versa. It's a sharp team, you know what I mean? And that's another thing. Like I said, we want it to be a overall quality experience with any engineer you get here. You know, a similar experience.
And can you talk about what really separates you guys from other studios?
I mean, I think I mean, as far as my personal experience, I've been in a lot of studios where the engineers aren't artists; they're engineers, which is great on the technical side. But it's like I compare a lot to basketball. It's easy to digest and compare, but it's like as a player, you trust the coach who's played.
Yeah.
Versus the coach, it's one thing to know the X's and O's. You can know every play, but until you can understand what it's like to lace it up, to go out there, to run into a screen, to understand this person might be faster. How do I deal with those type of adversities versus just the eye test and X's and O's? You know, they trust that, and that's one thing we're both comfortable with. We both still actively record, not in a way to step on anyone's toes. We don't really compete. We're not comparing. You know, I don't hear someone sound and be like, he thinks he's better. Like none of us do that here. You know what I mean? We all because we're all collaborative. We all work with each other. We all encourage each other. So that's not the energy here. So like that's kind of what sets us apart. Sets us apart is when you hear with any engineer, when you're in the environment, you understand you're the rock star, like you said. This isn't just to make you just a rapper. You're Kurt Cobain, you're John Lennon, you're whoever you want to be while you're here. You know what I mean? And you're fully comfortable, and we create that space. You know what I mean? We're coaches who are still actively go to the gym and play regularly. You know, like I said, we record. So that's kind of the main thing that sets us apart is we think from an artist perspective
Yeah.
in every session.
yeah, so like with him saying that we're active artists, and like we don't really care. We want to see everybody do good, but the biggest thing that sets us apart is like you don't come in here and it's not a spaceship. That's the one thing I always I always worked at studios that just felt like spaceships.
Yeah.
Like it felt like you needed to be like this certain way and da 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 da. Like but when you come in here, it's like you can just open up. You could take your shoes off and walk on the carpet. Stuff like that. Like it's just little stuff that like with recording music, most people won't understand. And especially from like the people that I've worked with, like I've recorded like country music and everything. Like most rappers when they go to the studio, they don't think about even listening to country music, and I might have a country artist in here, and they might come up with something together. Just stuff like that. It's really connecting the dots in the city because a lot of the I don't want to talk trash or anything about the other studios, but a lot of them they got their own lanes, they got their own people they work with. But we're connecting the dots, we're creating a community, and we're creating that space, that safe space. Artists want to come in here and they want to do stuff with other artists, and then it makes a scene, and then it gets everybody together, and then that's what takes it to a Detroit and Atlanta and everything like that, and everybody else compares us because of, they want the big city stuff, and we're a small city, and they got a scene and we don't, blah 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 blah, but we're creating the
Yeah.
scene, kind of, like I do shows, I do everything, and I just want to see everybody come together. And that was the whole thing with the studio too. Like we want to see everybody through here. Like no matter what you do, even if you just come in here, and you do a commercial, like anything, we want to see it happen. So yeah, that's what sets us apart for real.
Overall creative space, like engineers, not just engineers, videographers, media people. If you
Yeah.
want to come in here and sit down in one of the rooms and edit, or you know what I mean, just to come hang out and network, just to, like I said, a comfortable creative space without the, I don't want to say corporate feel, but you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
without any type of pressure, just full comfortability. Also 420 friendly, which is very rare in most. I mean, honestly, it's legal in the state. You know what I mean? But it's very rare to be able to do that in establishments in Ohio. In other cities, big cities, is different, but in Ohio, most studios aren't because of the situations, at least in situations and everything. But in our situation, we're allowed to do that. So that's and also another big thing, that goes hand to hand with a lot with all different types of genres of music, you know what I mean? So that's also very, it's a comfort thing.
Yeah. I love how you guys are about collaboration because I feel like you guys said, just in business in general, people are, it's always cutthroat. It's always, I win and you don't, but you guys are more like, let's make it a win-win for everyone involved.
Yeah, we're not in competition with anybody. We got our own lane, just like everybody else has their own lane. We're not looking at other people's lanes. We're just doing our own thing. like we
Yeah.
want to see everybody come together, and if you want to work with us, we're not going to be opposed to working with you because the more success is gonna come our way if it's more success your
Yes.
way and everybody's doing everything, and like we can't sit here and look at somebody and be like, oh, they're doing better, let's do this, oh, da 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 da. Like no, we're fine doing our own thing. But if you want to come over here and you want to join us and you want us to join you, we will.
I love it.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, just with collaboration in general, like that's how you grow. Like you said, a community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a great session where you as an artist, you can really say not just like I like the studio, but like man, I want to go back there. Not
Yeah.
not just for the song, but like the environment, the the feel. Like wow, that's a great. I've had great songs that didn't come out of great sessions, and I've had great sessions that weren't great songs, but the session was great. And the goal here, like I said, make every session real comfortable, real collaborative, and the more good sessions that we have where you feel like we care about you, the more you want to come back, the more word of mouth, the more you want your other people to be here because it's your therapist, it's your coach. Like I maximize your potential. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's very encouraging engineers over here. So,
Yeah.
you know,
I have two more questions for you guys. Do you think being fulfilled and happy is the same thing?
I think fulfilled is I think both of those are like fleeting emotions. I mean, fulfilled is just, has filled in it, at some point what you thought your cup, the level of your cup was, isn't the level it is now. So, at one point you're like, this will fulfill me. And then the cup gets bigger. You know what I mean? And then happiness is a genuine emotion. You feel that the same way you feel anger, sadness, anything else. So they're two completely different things, but I think when you reach a sense of fulfillment, you feel a sense of happiness. But,
I feel like happiness is more of what you make your environment, and the same thing with like fulfillment, because most people fulfill things and then they want more things and then they ends up turning into not being happy. So as long as you're happy just doing whatever you want to do, uh, you know, it's with anything, business, life, I think that's what you should be focused on more. Because if you would just just focus strictly on just fulfilling everything you want to do in life, like you're gonna live like a life that's not gonna be what you think it is. Because I thought the same thing, and like he showed me because he used to tell me all the time, like, yeah, no, we used to bump heads, and like he's like, man, they don't care about this, and they don't, like in the music industry, they don't care if your kid's sick, they don't care about none of that. And I thought I needed to fulfill these certain things. Like, oh, I need to do this. I need to go get signed by a label. I need to go do this. I want to be this person's engineer and this and that and that. And then I realized, like, I really don't care nothing about that anymore. Like, I'm fine being here. I got a family. Like, I'm I'm happy working with everybody that I work with. And if the opportunity comes, I'm never gonna say no. Like, but right now my happiness means more than everything. Fulfillment will come later on in life.
I have one more question for you guys. If you could have dinner with two people, one person from the past and one
Dinner?
person dinner, one person from the present, who would it be and why? I'll let you go first, Miko.
Like artists or just anyone?
Whoever you want.
Anyone.
One person from the past that's dead and one person from right now.
Uh, yeah,
I don't know. From the past, like you talking about like just for wisdom and stuff like that. I don't know. I'll probably go like a. Oh yeah, no, probably not like that. But I don't know. Probably like from the past, maybe like John Lennon or like Robert Johnson or something like that was in the music like back then because there was no like really wasn't no media coverage to really know about these people's lives, and to kind of see like where all the lore came from. And then in present, I don't know. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's it. I did right now. I have dinner with Stone Cold. Just get drunk with Stone Cold and eat steak. Hella Bud Lights and steak. That's how I go.
Past and present. I think past. I honestly think I'd want to sit down with like Tupac. It sounds crazy, but like he was just so much bigger than the artist he's portrayed. In any different light he's portrayed, there's always another light for him. Like he was a theater student,
Yes.
and all of these other things. Like I'm curious, like what his actual mind. There's a lot of footage of him doing things publicly and just different things, but like not a whole lot of like later years biography style information on him and conversations from where his actual head was at. No, there isn't much behind the scenes on that. He was great at storytelling, but a lot of it wasn't fully introspective. So I think like having a real sit down conversation with him would have been cool. And then present,
I feel like you might.
no lie, I want to sit down with Elon Musk.
Okay.
Like his ability to see things in black and white are amazing to me. That's why he's so good at problem solving or just getting things done. There's not really much emotion to anything he does. There's just like, okay, how do we get the car from A to B?
Yeah.
He's pretty good at figuring out the gasoline and the engine part of that. So like that's sweet to me to just kind of pick apart his brain because he's so knowledgeable on every subject. He's years ahead of everyone on every subject. Like he's part of the government now. Like he's just like a different type of super. He's like Tony Stark right now. You know what I mean? Like he's like a real world Tony Stark. So like Elon Musk and Tupac, and they both smoke. I feel like we could just probably have a fire dinner, bro. Like cool dinner.
I
Cool.
love it.
That'd probably be a cool dinner.
Okay.
All right, so past. You know who I want to kick it with? Bro, I want to kick it with John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy was probably lit. He was going crazy back in the day. You know the lore behind John F. Kennedy?
I know some of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll
Yeah.
probably kick it with JFK.
Yeah.
It was probably crazy in the Kennedy house. It was turned.
Yeah.
But yeah, John F. Kennedy, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I love it. Well, guys, that's all the questions I have for you. How can people find you, and what is one thing you want to leave people with?
So right now you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Jungle Studios Toledo. Website is done, but I have to rebuy the domain because I'm stupid sometimes and I forgot a S. So I gotta rebuy the domain. The website will be up soon. And then message I want to leave is always be yourself. don't listen to what everybody says about you, because if you do, you're never gonna do anything you ever wanted to do. And lastly, just do it, because y'all rather see you fail, learn, redo it again, instead of just never doing it all and regretting it.
Uh, yeah, follow us, Jungle Studios Toledo, Instagram. Uh, we got to get the TikTok going and everything. But yeah, just Jungle Studios Toledo everywhere. And yeah, like you said, be you, man. You 101. You're amazing. You're incredible. There's literally no other person in the entire world like you. Nobody is better at being you than you. So why would you be anything else? Don't make sense. So yeah, be you, Jungle Studios.
And the one person that wasn't with us today is my dear girlfriend Mercedes. She helped us a lot with everything, from the interior even down to everything when it comes to money and everything with us, because she's on our ass, and we got a in-house, woman that tells us what to do.
And shout out the Toledo truck. And shout out our partner Jason too as well.
Yeah, Jay Lee.
Shout out Jay Lee. Shout out Toledo truck.
Shout out
BU
D-Man.
Jungle Studio. Shout out D Man. Shout out Martellus. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, Easton, for
Yeah,
having
thank
us.
you guys for coming on. I appreciate it.